Very good evening and welcome to our coverage of this PL2 match between Leicester City and Chelsea from Leicester's brand new Seagrave training ground. Both these teams looking to kickstart their seasons. Chelsea in mid-table, though looking to move into the top four. Leicester City trying to beat the threat of relegation. They've had a terrible time. It's a massive game, all the action live. Kick-off just moments away now. Let's have a look at how Chelsea got on in their most recent game. It was defeat at Kingsmeadow. The first time Chelsea hadn't won a home game in PL2 this season. Actually, they were ahead early on through Tierno Ballo, but the lead couldn't last. Liverpool drawing level through Kane on 37 minutes, and then just 3 minutes after that, going in front. Morton with the goal after a mix-up between goalkeeper and defender for Chelsea, and Liverpool taking advantage of that. They've done the double over the Blues this season. Always felt like the next goal of the game was going to be absolutely crucial, and unfortunately for Chelsea, it was Liverpool who got it. Stewart making it 3-1 10 minutes after the restart. Chelsea did get a goal back late on to reduce the arrears. Tino Livramento's had a terrific season. We'll see him again tonight, lashing one in. They couldn't find an equaliser. 3-2 it finished, and that means that this is how we stand going into tonight's game. Chelsea in 7th, but a win, as I say, will take them up to 4th in the table. And they've got 2 games in hand on Manchester City, who are leading the way, as you can see, by some distance. Chelsea, the defending champions. Leicester finished 2nd last season on points per game, but look at them, way down in 11th. Bottom 2 teams in PL2 get relegated, so their need for points even greater than Chelsea's, you could say. Tommy Langley's with me to hopefully enjoy this evening's game, and generally that's what we've been doing, Tommy, so far this season. PL2's had a bit more excitement about it maybe than in recent years.
Matt, absolutely spot on, been fantastic entertainment. I've been fortunate to do some co-coms on a lot of games, in lots of goals, lots of excitement, comebacks. The Tottenham game 2-0 down, Danny Drinkwater gets sent off, we win 3-2, so it's always lovely when you beat Spurs at any level. But you know, so it's been very entertaining, some good players out there. You look at the side today, there's a lot of experience in that side we're playing today, and hopefully they can go out and do the job. And looking at this pitch, it's suitable for our boys to get the ball down and play like they used to.
Leicester clearly investing a lot in their academy, as Chelsea have done in recent seasons too. It's always that difficult blend though, isn't it, between getting results and developing players. You don't want to be in the position that Leicester are, because you're not going to develop as quickly if you're in the division below next season. Absolutely, and you look at our boys, how they're performing now, having been grounded in this sort of football. You look at Reece James, you look at the boys there, even Billy Gilmore today, who's starting for us in this game, but he's made his mark in the first team as well, and he's learnt through these sort of games. You want to be as competitive as you possibly can, and we saw the Liverpool game a few weeks ago, and I did that game. Chelsea was superb on the night, actually got beat 3-2 as you just said there, but they did everything right. A couple of silly mistakes at the back let them down, but apart from that they were very good, and in Livramento and Bate in particular, they were the men of the match that day, but as I said, ended up on the losing side. Yeah, there's loads of players that are really excited to see tonight. Lewis Bate, one of those who'll captain Chelsea. But Billy Gilmore, we speak about it a lot, don't we, when people come down from the first team back into the under-23s. It's a question of attitude and application, and everything we know about Billy is that he's just looking at this as, oh, great, I get to play a game of football tonight. Yeah, and I think his attitude is not in doubt. His ability is not in doubt, and he'll go out there and impose himself. He'll enjoy this tonight. I mean, he'd be disappointed he's not in and around the first team. He's had that little injury at the start of the season, which has knocked him back, and he hasn't really got that momentum going forward. John Harley here, walking around nice and casual. But Billy in particular will be looking to prove a point to the boss. He'll be watching this tonight. But as I said, his attitude's been spot on in whatever grade of football he's played in, and as I said, his ability is there to be tested today. Yeah, people will be watching, maybe from the Scotland camp too. He would love to get a place in their squad for the Euros in the summer. It's a really strong team that Chelsea have put out tonight. We'll bring you the full team news momentarily, but Leicester too have got some names which will be familiar to many of you. Chelsea won 2-1 when these two met back in December, thanks to a late winner from Henry Lawrence. Like to see things tighten up at the back maybe a little bit more than we've seen in recent weeks would be a criticism. Not many clean sheets this season.
No, there hasn't been, but they've not done a lot wrong. I mean, the last few games I've seen, they've defended quite well. It's just the goalkeeper was a bad pass out for the second goal for Liverpool when Chelsea were in command. Yes, it had just gone 1-1, but that was a silly mistake and enabled Liverpool to go in at 2-1, and they shouldn't have done. But if I think just take them silly mistakes out of their game at the back, I think Colwell's been great, Daniel Semu's been great, and obviously, you know, they look as though as a back three, Dujon Sterling's come in and done well, you know, since his injuries, and he looks sharp as well. So as a back three, I think they've looked quite secure. It's just the odd mistake, and it's been, and you know when you're in bad form, you get punished for them mistakes, and I think that's happened with the back three.
Yeah. Well, let's take a check on the two teams then. We'll start with the home side, Leicester City. Said there were a couple of names you'd be familiar with, none more so than number 5, Danny Simpson, Premier League winner with the Foxes back in 2016. And long-time Chelsea TV viewers will recognise the name of Cole da Silva, who's a former Chelsea Academy player, as were his brothers Rio and Jay. Here's the Chelsea team. Mentioned Billy Gilmour starts. Lewis Bate is the captain tonight. Others looking to make an impression, like Sir George McEachran, a couple of loan spells that haven't really worked out for him, so important period of his career. And Dujon Sterling working his way back from injury. We saw him against Liverpool. This is how we're expecting them to play. Tommy, it's a mouth-watering midfield, and those two, Angerin and McEachran, flanking Fia Bema. It looks like there's goals in this team.
Well, I'm a big fan of Tino Livramento, but look at that four in front, alongside him. Billy Gilmour, Bates, we've just mentioned, George McEachran, who's a top player on his day, and Tino Angerin, who's also had first-team experience this season. So, you know, that four alone can break any defence apart. So, as I said, it is an exciting lineup today, and I do expect goals from certainly from a Chelsea perspective.
Leicester drew against Brighton here last week. They were winning for a long time in that match, actually. An own goal 9 minutes from time meant the points were shared. Won their first 2 home games, but they haven't won any of the subsequent 5 in the league. Scott Tallis is the referee.
The one thing I would say, Matt, I looked at their record early today. They've conceded 42 goals in them 17-18 games. Only Man United, who are sat third, have conceded 43, believe it or not. So I don't know how they're sat third, conceding that many goals. But as I said, from our perspective, we've got plenty of ammunition there. And look at them, they might be weak at the back. I expect I was going to say a blue victory, but Leicester in blue tonight, a Chelsea victory.
An off-white victory, let's call it that. It's going to be Leicester who will get things underway. So Chelsea looking to get back to winning ways here tonight. 4th place is the carrot being dangled in front of them. A good header from Daniel Simiyu right at the start. Fia Bema trying to hold it up, not able to on that occasion. Here is Fia Bema again, Norwegian with number 9 on his back. It's been a bit of a problem position for Chelsea this season, the central striker. Fia Bema gets his chance to impress tonight. Gilmour going back to Simiyu, who is the usual captain of this team, but Lewis Bates got the armband tonight.
Well, I think that's testament to how well Lewis Bates done. He's been very effective in that midfield area, mainly alongside George McEachran, but today obviously his partner's Billy Gilmour.
Now, first chance for Angerin to show us what he can do with the ball at his feet. Got the space here for Livramento. He's got plenty of support. Angerin again. He's going to have a go. And he didn't miss by much.
No, it was a great little move again, set up, started with Lewis Bates switching the play, ended up with Tino Angerin there, and I've got to say, he's aiming at that near stick. Fia Bema's coming in at the far post. It's a great little first touch here, second touch takes him past defender. I think he should be squaring that, and look at Fia Bema, he's at the far post there, looking to tap it in, misses at the near post, and the chance goes begging, but great start, and nice crisp passing right from the back.
Got 3 goals in PL2 this season, Angerin. Played in the Champions League and the FA Cup for the first team this season too. It's like a home from home this for Chelsea, isn't it? Very similar to the setup at Cobham. Spent a few quid on it, I think, Leicester.
Yes, they have. It looks very impressive, I have to say. And I did go to their old training ground. It didn't befit a team that's winning the Premiership as they did a few years ago. So they had to move, they had to grow, and this looks a great facility.
Competition for youngsters in this part of the country. Derby and Forest both got really successful academies too.
He's given a foul here against Billy Gilmore. I don't think there was no chance that Billy meant to make contact with him. I think that the number 10 made contact with him. It's Russ made contact with Billy Gilmore, and not the other way around.
Well, it's not a great angle here for Leicester to try and work. Cole De Silva looks like he's the player who's going to take this. Floated it up to the edge of the penalty area. Meat and drink for Simiyu to defend. Goes all the way back to Danny Simpson. Often talk, don't we, about scouts watching these games looking for the next big thing. Maybe somebody looking at 34-year-old Danny Simpson, released by Huddersfield at the end of last season.
Yeah, I mean, his CV stands up to any scrutiny, but I'm not sure he's going to enjoy playing in PL2. But again, the good pro that he is, he'll try and get something out of this and try and maybe educate the boys around him. But as I said, mate, he's got the Premiership winning medal to show them all.
And that shows an incredible desire on his part, doesn't it? You know, you could just live off that for the rest of your life. I've won the Premier League, never mind, well, I'll play some under-23 football and hope I can get another season somewhere, whether that's League One, League Two.
Yeah, there's no surprise, mate. If you're as good a pro as him, you want to play for as long as you can. And as I said today, I think his goal will be to educate young boys around him and teach them good habits.
Here's Livramento. Steve Beaglehole, who is the Leicester coach, barking his instructions. It was totally missed by Tyree Shade. Here's Gilmore, crowded out by two players bigger than him, but it didn't bother him. Sterling. Angerin just glides across the pitch. That's not the best clearance. Chelsea might be able to profit from that. Vale. McEachran. Crosses a deep one. Goalkeeper has to pour it away. Oh. And on the follow-up, the shot, it was from Livramento, was blocked.
I think that was Levi Colwill that got out on the left-hand side there, smashed the ball across, and the goalkeeper, he had to move his feet very quickly and he misjudged the flight of the ball and got something on it. Then Livramento coming in, got blocked on the line, and it was a nothing cross. It ended up being very dangerous.
Good start from Chelsea here. 5 minutes in, they've already gone close on a couple of occasions. Here's Lewis Bate. Gilmore playing the ball around the corner first time for Angerin. Scooped over the head of De Silva, but he was able to recover before it got to Livramento. What's Colwill over on that far side? He'll tell you he's trying to score.
That was Cole De Silva made a good block there because Livramento's hit it with his left foot and looks as though he's definitely hitting the target. Cole De Silva comes across and just blocks it. But
Tino Livramento been a great source of crossing, goal scoring, all sorts for Chelsea from that right wing back position. Got himself England under 20 honours. He's only 18.
yeah, deservedly so. I mean, I've been fortunate to do a few of these games this year, and he's been the top man in most of the games, and his pace and his ability to get on that right-hand side have been good. In the last game against Liverpool, we actually started on the left, but was still very effective.
Fiabema came through for Angerin. Here's Livramento again. See the Leicester defender scared to make a challenge there and potentially give away a penalty. Sterling. Angerin thought he continued his run.
Yeah, that wasn't on from Tino there. He just tried the elaborate flick and it wasn't on there. It was a better ball would have put Dujon Sterling in.
Bate moving it quickly but unable to link up with Gilmore. Leicester will look to break. They're spending a lot of time in their own half in the opening exchange as the home side. It's cool from Colwill under pressure.
Yeah, he's cool as ice, isn't he? Absolutely. The games have been very sort of pleased with the way he's conducted himself. He looks as though he's going to be a real one centre-back for the future. Looking at their game so far, they think they've got Jamie Vardy up front. They keep hitting long balls, Leicester, over the top, and it's just coming back at them straight away. And the three defenders, Colwill, Simu, and are really getting on the ball now and creating problems for them.
Here's Gilmour, encouraged to travel with the ball. Look at the space again for Livramento. Plenty of time to measure his cross. Couldn't find Fiabema with it though. Here's Clark.
They've done it again. It's just an aimless long ball over the top, and there seems no technique to it, and they're too busy closing Chelsea down to get their own pattern of play going.
Here's Vale. Harvey Vale still only 17. Sterling at 21, the elder statesman. Now Livramento. Quickly away from one, looking for some movement. He had to go backward, kept Chelsea on the ball with Gilmour. Here's Vale again, Colwill's coming forward again. Chance for a shot for Angerin. Oh, he didn't miss by much. Goalkeeper flung himself away to his left and was relieved it went wide.
Yeah, they can't cope with the movement of Chelsea and the crisp passing. It's a great little ball played into him. His first touch is superb. Gets it out of his feet here, looks up, tries to bend it into the far stick, just misplaces it a little bit. But again, a crisp move from Chelsea.
A couple of sights of goal early on for Tino Angerin.
6 and 8, never mind anybody, get there. 6 and 8. Tight. Come on, get up the gear, come on.
Chitiru Adunzi, the goalkeeper for Leicester tonight, did actually spend some time in the Chelsea Academy a couple of years ago. He's had a call up to the American senior squad. This is just his second game in PL2, he's only 18. Here's Livramento. It's a decent cutback too. Oh, Fiabema couldn't put it in. Danger's not passed yet though. Here's Gilmour. Stroked it just wide as a Leicester player down and hurt in the middle of all that, but it feels like a matter of time until Chelsea take the lead.
Well, in 9 minutes and the Chelsea have had possession, chances and everything, just can't put the ball in the back. And again, it's Livramento on this right-hand side. He's creating havoc down here, plays a great ball into an area. For me, Fiabema's got to make contact with that. It looks like he's more concerned with the contact with the defender as opposed to getting onto the ball, and he lets the chance go begging. And when you're out of form as a striker, you know, I know in particular, I used to miss a lot of them, and you just don't get them sort of breaks in that sort of 6-yard box, but you've got to make your own luck and really commit to going to it. And on that occasion, I think he worried more about the defender than actually sticking the ball in the back of the net.
And of course, every precaution will be taken here with the Leicester player who's down and hurt.
They've got to get tighter in there.
From what we can hear, it doesn't seem like Steve Beaglehole is particularly impressed with how Leicester have started this game, and you can understand that.
Well, you can't be. I mean, when they're getting the ball, they're hitting 50, 60-yard balls over the top of our defenders. And as I said, on that occasion, I just think he's got to be stronger, Fiabema. I think he's got to get something on that ball, and the slightest of touches goes in. But they're hitting 50, 60-yard balls. Our three centre-backs are getting onto it, coming out with it, playing balls into the channels for Billy Gilmour and George McEachran, and we're making play from there. And then Andrins are getting on it. They just can't get near the Chelsea players at the moment, but the one thing that's not there is the scoreline, because it's still 0-0.
Leicester did at least stop the rot in their last game with that draw against Brighton. Had lost 4 in a row and 7 of the previous 8 before that. This happened, well, it did happen in that opportunity for Fiabema a moment ago, and the Leicester player just got clumped on the side of the head, I think by the Norwegian's knee. This gives Leicester a chance to reset and start again, doesn't it, when you get a break in play like this, I suppose?
Well, you can hear the coach, he's trying to get to his players, trying to get them organised, trying to get the shape right, because at that moment they can't cope with the movement of the players up front from Chelsea. So it looks as though, to be fair, he's got a knock, and I think they're saying he's OK, but you know, you can understand the coach's frustration because his game plan's gone right out the window, but that's purely because Chelsea are dominating the game.
Luckily, it's not too chilly tonight. So a fair amount of time for the players to be stood around. Gives Andy Myers the chance to get some instruction across. Chelsea no wins since the turn of the year. They played 3 times since then. Last game before the break was that 6-1 hammering you might have watched with us against Manchester United. It was an incredible game.
Well, the other thing with that, Matt, and obviously they lost back-to-back games. Derby away and obviously Liverpool in the last game. And I think they've been dominant in both and should have won both games quite comfortably. And you look at the way we started this 12 minutes without getting a goal on the board, because you should have done. You just wonder if it's going to happen again tonight, that they're going to get done with a sucker punch. But let's hope not.
It's Harvey Godsmark-Ford, the player who got that own goal last week. They said he was okay. He doesn't look it to me. We'll see. They're making their readjustments. They're going to play with 10 for the moment.
Yeah, we don't want to do it, Raf. 4. We're ready to go.
Gilmore's had a dab down. He played it infield. Here's Gilmore again. Bait under pressure, had to move it on quickly. Coleman took it a couple of steps too far, but was being fouled. Yeah, they are going to have to make this sub. Godsmark-Ford not able to continue. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. It's going to be Callum Hume, who is a regular starter actually in this Leicester team, who's coming on and will play the majority of the game.
Well, these new concussion rules, obviously he was down for a while, the young centre-half, Godsmark-Ford, and let's hope he's okay. But it looked a sore one, but as I said, with these new regulations, they've got to be double careful.
Gilmore. Here's Angerin. This is where he can be so devastating. Flicked it to Livramento. Can he find an angle for the finish? He pulled it back instead, and it's hit Angerin and gone behind for a goal kick, and another chance has gone back.
Oh, well, got one of them. Timo Angerin again, fantastic. Drives at the back four, plays a great ball. Livramento's touch lets him down, just drags him a little bit wide there, Matt. He pulls it back and it's into a great area. And Angerin now, it looks like he lost his footing a little bit, or his awareness. And unfortunately, it was an easy chance, which he didn't take advantage of.
Gilmore did well to win that back. Angerin again. Can have a go from range this time, and he's cleared the training ground with that one. Got to take one of these chances as well. Chelsea's so heavily on top.
Well, again, he's bossing the game, Tino, at the moment. He just isn't taking advantage, as I said. It's a great bit of burrowing there from Billy Gilmore. Plays a sensible ball. He's looking for options, Tino, here. No, I'm going to have a smash. He's got to be better than that. You know, he tries to put his laces through it, but gets right underneath it.
Clark going long again. Poor old Ali Regbu, number 9 on his back for Leicester. They're trying to pick him out, and he hasn't kicked the ball yet. 16 minutes in.
No, and if you look at the size of Daniel Simu, he's fantastic. You made the point earlier about the ball hitting to the box from Cole de Silva, that he's always going to come out and win them, Matt, and he's dominant. And as I said, they're not going to suit the young centre-forward there against Daniel.
Livramento's touch allowed Pennant to get back at him. Now Pennant will look to go forward under pressure from George McEachran. Just about a free kick.
On your show, get across the pitch and show together.
But if you look at Pennant in particular on this left-hand side, I think his forte is going forward, and he's spending a lot of his time backing up Calder Silva as a left-back. That's a better ball into the striker.
Simply too strong for Redbird though, but it's broken kindly for Leicester. Now Pennant's making his way into the box. Redbird dispossessed. Gilmore serving it up for Livramento. You might hear some language that you might not appreciate. Apologies for that. There's not much we can do about it.
I have to say it was similar in the Liverpool game, because there was quite a few challenges which they weren't too happy with. And,
oh yeah, it's all the Leicester bench, definitely.
Of course, nothing to do with Andy Myers or John Harley.
Here is De Silva.
Get across, post strikers. What do you show? Ollie Ewing, get in the middle.
Lumped forward then by Mitchell Clark, and Redbird's done well to get hold of that. Here's De Silva again, most recently at Brentford. Bates sliding it into Andrew, but it bounced off his foot. Clark won it back. And this is dangerous. Shots deflected, and behind for the first corner of the night.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't put your chances away. All of a sudden, Leicester strung 4 or 5 passes together, look more comfortable on the ball, and get a striking on goal. And as I said, when you get the opportunities, you've got to stick at least one in the back of the net.
Skipper Shade who's going to whip this in. De Silva, I beg his pardon. In it goes in towards Shade. He might be able to get a shot away. To play it back instead to Oliver Ewing, and it's well defended by Chelsea. They forced Leicester all the way back to halfway. And there's one of those aimless balls which we saw so regularly. That time Danny Simpson, the culprit. First time Carlo Ziga's touched the ball.
Yeah, I think his main job tonight is to keep warm.
Memento wanted to restart play quickly. Leicester were wise to that. Gilmore. Fail. Turned it on for Colwill nicely. You're in for a cross for the centre half.
Well, he's already gone down that side and tried to score with that long looping cross that nearly went in at the far post, but this time comes out with the ball. Patient play from Chelsea.
If you are late joining us, you can see the Chelsea team, including Billy Gilmore. He's on the ball there and feeding it into Angerin. Poor touch from Colwill on that occasion. Clark under pressure from Fia Bema, had to kick it long first time up toward Redbird, but again, Simiyu got his head to the ball first. Livramento. Sterling. Given for being a bit rusty, I suppose. He's had over a year out, effectively. He had a really bad hamstring injury when he was on loan at Wigan, and illness has held him back further since then.
Great play from Billy Gilmour there, just nicking the ball off the forward, and Livramento got a chance of getting the ball in the box, but he's beavering away in there, Billy Gilmour, working really hard.
Sterling. Bate doesn't mind getting it under pressure as he was then from Will Russ. Vale pushed in the back fairly obviously by Tyrese Shade.
I think the coach is encouraging them to close down, and I understand that, but you can't close down as two. You have to close down as a unit, and the two strikers are trying to get tight to the Chelsea midfield players and defenders, but they're just playing around them.
Here's Bate again. Lovely ball into Livramento. How's his cross? Cleared away by Simpson for Chelsea's first corner of the game.
He's a great out ball, isn't he? Lewis Bate and Livramento have got a great understanding. He's always keeping his width, and the first touch was good there. It's a cracking little ball in behind. First touch is good. Just tries to feed it into the areas he did earlier. Defender comes back. I mean, it's Danny Simpson this year using all his experience to get it clear. But it's a great out ball for Bate, that to Livramento on this right-hand side.
It's a short corner on here, potentially. Goes direct and deep instead, and over everybody's head. Colwell will try and recycle. Here's Sterling. Livramento was back minding the shot. Chelsea will start again with Gilmour. Bate nicely away from Ewing. Good football this from Chelsea. Lovely ball from Gilmour to Vale. Here's Angerin. Great work to make room for the shot. Was it the goalkeeper or was it the post that came to Leicester's rescue?
Well, I think that's the post. That would have been the goal of the season because it was worked on the right-hand side, went out to the left. Lewis Bate involved again, and the touch from Angerin was superb. The strike was really good. I just think he's very unlucky. It's inside the post and comes out. Great move from Chelsea.
Gilmour again, running the show in midfield. Here's Livramento finding so much space on that right side. Bate shifting it to try and make some room. Got his pass wrong that time. Chelsea players much quicker to get back there than the Leicester boys were to get forward.
Well, I think they've worked so hard in trying to stop Chelsea. Their legs have gone a little bit and they're trying to get a deep breath, and holding the ball like he's done there will do them a bit of a favour. But they did have an opportunity to break, but as you said, his options were limited.
Across the line, I think. Well, this was Andrew a moment ago. Lovely chop to get back into the position to make the shot. And yeah, it was the post, wasn't it?
He can do no more. I mean, we criticised him early on. He tried to hit it into the near post, hit it over the bar. But this time, it's a great strike. Hits the inside of the post and comes out. Very unlucky there from Tino. I just love that attitude, though. I think a lot of times, Matt, you know, even in the first team, we're loath to actually pull the trigger in them areas. You know, you might get a deflection, and might have come out, hit the goalkeeper on the back. Sometimes you've got to make your own luck. Well, I think Tino's tried to pull the trigger on a few times today, and hopefully later on he'll get his rewards.
Now relax, pass it, Hume, get on the ball. You both come short, Ollie.
Nothing's going to make you relax more than your manager shouting "relax" at you, is it?
Okay. It seems counterproductive, but they tend to do that quite a bit. And as I said last week, with Liverpool, exactly the same.
Now here's Livramento, fed by McEachran, up against De Silva. Simiyu out for Sterling. McEachran found a little pocket of space, thread it down the line for Livramento. Decent cut back too, and Fiabema's shot had the sting taken out of it by a deflection off Hume.
Again, the space down this right-hand side is unbelievable, and Livramento's making great use of it. George McEachran feeds a great ball, and he looks up, not a lot on, pulls the ball back to Fiabema. I think he doesn't get blocked. I think it's his left foot as he's standing there. And as I said, as a striker, that's the form you're in, and it falls easily for the keeper. But again, we're making chances.
Here's Bate. Approaching half an hour gone. Chelsea scratching their heads, wondering how they're not in front here.
What a ball
over the top again from Gilmour to find Livramento. Can Bate get to the loose ball here? Oh, it's a soft free kick going in Oliver Ewing's favour.
Well, I think Tyrell Pennant will now be a left back after tonight's game, because he certainly isn't a left winger today. And again, it's a great ball that feeds Livramento. It's unlucky. Lewis Bates sussed out where he's going with the ball there, but Ewing just gets his body across and gets a free kick. But you can see here, Pennant is holding his back as if to say, I'm running up and down this wing, Calder Silva, help me.
Here's De Silva. This is Mitchell Clark. Fiabema will put the pressure on Odunze, who got rid of it first time. Good header from Simiyu. Oh, Simpson's got his clearance wrong. He's got away with it though. Regbert trying to bring Will Russ into play, but again, Simiyu there first.
Well, he got a bit of praise there from his coach, and rightly so. He's held the ball up there, Regberry. He hadn't had a lot of joy with that, and a lot of the balls haven't suited him, but that one was to his feet, and he got hold of it very well, and Daniel Simo kicks it off for a throw, and then they get the ball in our final third, which is where they need to be, I think, from their point of view.
Here's Pennant, trying to weave his way through the bodies. Sterling stood his ground. It's not a great clearance, though. Good spell this for Leicester. Space here for Russ. Regber wants it cut back his way. Here he is. It's a good block from Sterling. And then the follow-up shot batted away by Ziege to deny Tyrese Shade.
Well, it's a good save from Ziege, and he hits it really, really well, Tyrese Shade there. And I think it went through a few bodies as well, so he got his hands to it there. He couldn't have seen a lot of it there.
Bate dispossessed. Here's Regber. Trying to reverse ball back through to Russ. Again, bringing Livramento into play.
It's almost telepathic, that ball, isn't it? You know, he knows where Tino's going to be, and he plays it so well.
Shade's pass behind his teammate will give Chelsea the chance to get back in possession.
Yeah, it's poor, but I have to say they'll get more encouragement out of the last sort of 5 minutes or so. They're getting a lot tighter, Chelsea, not giving them as much respect as they did in the opening sort of 20-25 minutes, and trying to get that little bit tighter. And I think the coach's instructions are finally getting through.
The mist is rolling in from the Trent, as they say. Well, we've had half an hour. We're going to get a decent chunk of stoppage time because of that injury that forced Smartford off. Chelsea have been dominant for the majority of the opening half hour, and here they come again with Livramento. Can he get the shot off here, Livramento? Dunze made the save.
Yeah, it was a good save, covered his near post. I think Tino's got to do a little bit better there. It's a great ball again from Tino Andrew in there. Gets it out of his feet with his first touch there. Just a little bit casual. It's into the near stick. Good save from the keeper, but one he should save. Another injury, and there's Tyrell Pennant. I think he's got twisted blood because he's absolutely been all over the place on this their left, our right.
Who's picking up on the near post? You, mate. He should be marked. Zola, pick him up.
Fiabema making a nuisance of himself in front of the goalkeeper. Chip deep again, the corner. Colwill up a little too early maybe to attack it. Ewing trying to clear it, but he was fouled and prevented from doing so by McEachran. Well, poor old Pennant, as you say, Tommy. Twisted blood, a bad back from carrying his teammates. It's not been a great start to the game for Leicester. Be loath to have to make a second substitution half an hour in.
Yeah, funny, it does look as though it's his back. He's trying to get that loose there, and he looks sore.
Well, that looks like the international sign for substitution to me. So more readjustments needed by the looks of things for Leicester.
You go down the middle. Ali, Tyrese out here.
This is
This side.
Dempsey Arlott John, who is coming on.
Right side midfield. Will. This side, Ty. Left side. 4-4-2 still.
So it's the 11, Tyrell Pennant off, and 12, Dempsey Arlott John on.
As the coach just said, he's going to keep the same shape. I think the captain, Tyrell Shade, who was playing on the right-hand side, now is going over to the left to play in this role to give some help to Cole de Silva. But that ball is constantly on for the midfield with Billy Gilmore. Anyone there to get it out to Livramento on the right. But a little bit of a conflab here, I think. Fiabema got a smack on the head. And... Must Tino Andrew coming across though.
Just wanted to check Fiabema's okay, I guess because it's a head injury. Plenty of breaks in play in this first half.
Yeah. It looked like a harmless challenge. Fiabema went for it. I think the midfield player went for it with him, and there certainly was contact, but he looks comfortable with it anyway.
Maybe just a little nick above the eye. Good job we can't make plans to do anything after the game. Might be here a while.
Gonna miss the train back, I think, that's for sure.
Well, it looks as though Fiabema's going to be okay to continue.
To be fair, I mean, apart from I think one shot which got blocked by his own foot, he hasn't really had a lot of contact in the first half. So,
break on here maybe with Ewing. And the space is on this near side where Shade is. Can they get the ball into the penalty area? Oh, that's perfectly timed from Levi Colwill.
Really good challenge. Actually challenging with his wrong foot, challenging with his right foot there as opposed to his left. Now, it's unlucky there. I think it's Billy Gilmore falls over, loses a bit of balance there. It's a good ball played out to these. But look at him here, Levi Colwill. He's a Rolls Royce. He absolutely lets the guy get in front of him. Tackles with his right foot. Well-timed challenge. Goes off for a corner.
Second corner of the night for Leicester.
Oh, no.
Glanced on. Gone out of play and come back in again, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. But even then, it was a good save by Carlo Ziga. Hasn't had a lot to do, but he's had to make one good save from a shot early, and I think that goes out before it comes back in. So you're right. I said his main job would be keep warm, but in this last sort of 15 minutes, had a little bit more to do, hasn't he?
Copied my lockdown haircut, the Chelsea goalkeeper.
I think we've all got a few of them, haven't we?
Yours looks better than mine.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, Matt.
Well, Ziga wants to play out from the back here.
Oh,
it doesn't work for Chelsea that time. A few sloppy moments just creeping into the Blues play.
Yeah, for 20-25 minutes, been really good. I just want there's a little bit of frustration. They know they should be a goal, possibly two up, and haven't got that, and obviously allowed Leicester back into the game a little bit.
Here's Arlott John, the new man. Stop from making any further progress. Leicester making steady progress down Chelsea's left. Good header again to get it clear from danger, but ball dropped kindly for Ewing.
Well, it did. I have to say, in the first 20 minutes, we were hot onto the second balls and we were picking a lot of them up. But this sort of last 10 minutes, they've been a little bit sharper in that midfield area and getting on them second balls and enabling them to keep possession like they are now.
Here's Shade. De Silva continued his run. Cut the ball back into a good area as well. Chelsea struggling to get it away that time.
Done fantastic, Tino Andrew in there, just as he's going to pull the trigger. He's just got across in there, nicked the ball off of him. Very important challenge on the edge of the box.
Shade to come left side after that most recent substitution. Oh, given away carelessly. Now Angerin bearing down on goal. Clark in front of him. Angerin lays it off for Fia Bema, who can't believe he hasn't scored.
Well, it's a poor ball across from the substitute Callum Holm there, and it goes straight to Tino Andrew, and he's going at the back four. It's a poor ball. He shouldn't be playing square balls there. Falls to Tino. Great little one for Fia Bema on the outside. You think Tino's going to go on his own, feeds the ball to the other striker, and it's a poor finish. He's got to hit the target there, and as I said, when you're out of form, them sort of things happen.
Credit the goalkeeper for narrowing the angle, but really, it should be 1-0. Should be at least 1-0. Ziga over the head onto Livramento's toe. Is Russ dispossessed?
Done really well there, Harvey Val. Just nicked it off him. Saw where he was going to go and just nicked the ball off of him.
Bemmer on the chase here. Oh. Not too subtle, that challenge on Simpson.
No, that's a 34-year-old man using his head there, just getting his body in there, waiting for contact. Beamer obliges and over he goes. But,
had the look, didn't he?
Had a little glance over his shoulder, knew the contact was going to be made, and over he went.
De Silva up toward Ragba, but it's come instead with the substitute Arlott John, but now Chelsea got it back with Bate. And apologies for the choice language.
I have to say, I thought the drag back was really good, but it did come off, I felt, Lewis Bates' foot there, but not seen by the assistant this side.
Here's Ragba. Arlott John ahead of him.
Great tackle.
Perfectly timed again that time, Sterling.
I think Ragba just fell asleep on the ball there. Looked as though he was looking for options, and Dujon... Oh, that's a bad tackle, though.
Oh, that was Ragba trying to make amends, and we can be kind and call it a forward tackle.
There was a poor challenge from Dujon Sterling initially, which it wasn't, but this is when he just left his foot in there, and they could be nasty. Then Dujon doesn't take kindly to it, I don't think, but doesn't react, which is good.
Well, he did him a favour by getting up straight away, didn't he? Minute of regulation time left in the first half. Probably have 5 added on for stoppages. Simiyu. Bate looking to get Chelsea over halfway. It broke kindly here for Bemmer.
In there. Both of you, one of you get in there. Come on.
Can Chelsea find a breakthrough goal before half-time? Probably had, what, 4 good chances to score at least.
Well, Andrew's hit the inside of the post. Beamer's just missed a chance. Andrew's had a couple of other shots, and as you said, it's been like the Alamo for sort of 20-25 minutes. But as I said, scoreline still remains the same, 0-0.
6 added minutes at the end of the first half. Here goes Bate. Sterling couldn't keep it in.
Interesting to think about the last 3 team talks Andy Myers had at half-time. I mean, Derby, they were murdering them and obviously got beat at the end of it. Liverpool, they were by far the better side, but ended up half-time 2-1 down. And today, it looks like being 0-0. And Andy must be looking at his boy and saying, listen, you're doing fantastic. You're doing really, really well, but we just need to stick that ball in the back of the net in the final third and get our rewards. And there'll be an element of massive frustration to him in these last 3 games.
Here's Gilmore. Fails cross from deep towards Bemmer, who headed it down toward Livramento. Leicester struggling to get it away. Bate. McEachran.
What was a pen? Ooh, I thought Tino Andrin got a whack in the back. As he's going to control it with his chest, the defender comes from the wrong side. And there's not a lot of appeals from the Chelsea players, but I just thought that could have been a penalty there.
Referee looking down the barrel was unmoved. Here's Sterling. Bait. Cross from Vale. Livramento might be able to keep it alive. Well defended in the end. Well, this is their claim for a penalty a moment ago.
He gets his body in the way there, and I just think the defender's coming from the wrong side there. Definitely catches him in the back. I think Tino maybe goes down a little bit easier than he should, but and maybe could have been a bit stronger, but he couldn't have expected that challenge there, Matt. And as I said, to the letter of the law, I think he makes contact and knocks him over.
De Silva.
You two should be looking to get it. You run off, you come and get it. Yeah, deal with it. Deal with it.
Here's McEachran. Brother Josh has signed for MK Dons, having been a free agent, was announced today. Here goes Gilmore. Andrew in. Oh, not quite.
All the way in, we all it. We human. All the way. You drop in, Jay. Stay there, Jay.
Gilmore. Lovely switch again. Livramento laid it off first time beautifully for Angerin. Across the face of goal. Surely this time, finally, Chelsea take the lead. In first half stoppage time, George McEachran was there at the far post to turn it in. It was a brilliant Blues move. Here's Leicester City 0, Chelsea 1.
It was a fantastic. This from Billy Gilmore is superb. This ball's been on all first half, but the touch from Livramento is superb. Sees the run of Andrin, picks the ball out, and it's a great little ball fizzed into the far post. George McEachran gets on the end of it, and Chelsea deservedly take the lead just before half-time.
Lovely touch from Livramento as well. Andrin saw that McEachran was well placed. Adunzi almost got there, but not quite.
Well, it was a classic, wasn't it? This is the style of football we played in the first half. That ball to the right-hand side. But as you said, Livramento's a touch and awareness to see Tino Andrin's run was superb. The ball fizzed into McEachran. And to be fair to George, he doesn't always get in the box, but this time he did at the far stick and gets his rewards. And as I said, Chelsea, good value for their 1-0 lead at half-time.
It's another goal in PLT for him. He got that 30-yard free kick against Derby, didn't he, too? Will be people watching on. He was on loan at MVV in the Netherlands earlier this season. That was cut short.
By the way, that's not omen. We got the first goal that day and we got beat 2-1. So let's hope we can go on and get the points tonight.
Angerin. Chelsea have to be quick if they want to have another chance, but Angerin is just that. A couple of drops to the shoulder away from the defenders, and then he saw the headlines. And that is that for the first half here. Well, it took Chelsea an awful long time to make the breakthrough, but finally, in first half stoppage time, George McEachran did just that, rounding off a fabulous Blues move. Leicester have had their moments, but Chelsea, by and large, have been in control of things at the break. Here at Seagrave, the score is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 1. So the under-23s leading by a goal to 0 here. The under-18s were in action on Saturday. They had an away game against Norwich City. This is how it unfolded.
Haig. Still Joe Haig. Typical lovely footwork. He's gone for goal here. It looks good. It looks really good. It's in. It's another moment of individual brilliance from the really talented Joe Haig. 7th minute lead for Chelsea. What about that? It's a great looking ball that from Webster, and soon Sutbella's got there quite comfortably. They're still going, soon Sutbell. Haig takes over and nearly adds a second. Tight angle. Brooking into Silko Thomas. And Thomas again. That's a good stop. There was a touch on that before it hit the post. That goal for Blair is under real pressure here as a corner comes in from Webster, picked up by Hughes. And Haig. And Blair saves again. Well, usually Charlie Webster's on these. It looks like it'll be soon Sutbell. Oh, it's brilliant. Maybe a bit central from Blair's point of view. Soon Sutbell won't care. 17 this season, and right on half-time the lead's doubled. Rowe. Oh, everyone's missed the cross. And Thorne's missed the target. What a chance. Duffy for Norwich. This is Camera. And that was too easy. Way too much space for Camera. The Blues' lead is cut in half with 30 to play. Soon Sutbell's already scored one of these. I should think he'll be on duty again. Indeed he is, and he nearly scored again. It's off the bar, and it's hat clear. Duffy has poked it through. Hill's here to equalise. No. It's wide. Decent pressure, this from Norwich. And Chelsea want a foul. They don't get it. That's Brook! And it's off the bar. That's happened at both ends now in this second half. And Webster gets in there. And Webster is fouled and the pressure is relieved, but only just. Charlie Webster with the corner. And Tobin nearly added a late third there.
Big win that for Ed Brand's boys, who've had an up-and-down season in the under-18 PL South. Tommy, we'll take a look back at the best bits of the first half here. Really relieved that that goal went in at the end, otherwise we'd be saying it's been so frustrating.
Oh, Chelsea have been in a totally different class to Leicester, especially in the first 20 minutes, and we allowed them to stay in the game by missing chances. And Livramento, this ball's been on all of the first half. This was opening minute of the game, and Livramento links up with Andrew, tries to drill it into the near post. I think he should be picking out the striker Fierbeamer at the far post, but tries his angle and gets it slightly wrong. But it was a sign of things to come.
Yeah, looking for that postage stamp there, wasn't he? Harvey Vale getting forward, creating the next opportunity for Chelsea. It's a good cross in, actually, from Colwill, right underneath the goalkeeper. Fierbeamer was there again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a miss-hit cross, but the keeper moved his feet very well, got a hand to it, and Livramento coming in, smashes it with his left foot. Good defending from Cole Silver to keep it out of the goal.
We're not being biased here, by the way, if you did miss the first half. This is just how it went. It was all one-way traffic.
And that was one of many shots Tino Andrew had in the first half. Again, his first touch is superb. Gets it out of his feet. Only one thing in his mind there, to bend it into that far post. Just misplaces the strike.
This was lovely approach play from Chelsea. Livramento's ball across the face of goal. Fierbeamer couldn't get anything on it, and then Billy Gilmore just wide with the follow-up.
Yeah, that was the incident that the young centre-half, Godsmark Ford, had to go off for, and again it was Livramento on the right-hand side that created the problem. I think Fierbeamer and him clash in the box, as you can say, and the shot from Billy Gilmore goes wide, but you can see the centre-half in the 6-yard box there, and he wasn't able to continue.
Yeah, that was all in the first 10 minutes, all those chances. They kept on coming. That was just brilliant footwork, and only the width of the post denying Andrew in that time.
Yeah, again, it's great feet from Tino. He's a big guy, but he's got great quick feet there. Pulls inside the sub who'd just come on for the centre-half, smashes it into the near post again, gets no luck, hits the inside and comes out.
Andrin will be frustrated if he ends the night without a goal. He's had so many chances. Fia Bema too, he ought to have scored that one.
Yeah, he should. And Tino, as I said, he's had many strikes in the first half. That occasion, very unselfish, slides the ball into. It's a poor ball across, but he comes out. Fia Bema makes the run on his outside, decides to knock him in there as opposed to having a shot. I think Fia Bema's got to do better there and hit the target.
This was the goal. Lovely ball, that. How about that for a touch from Livramento? And finally, the build-up play was paid the compliment it deserved.
Yeah, the ball out, the touch from Livramento, the ball in from Timo Andrin, and the finish from George McEachran just summed up Chelsea's play in the first half. But this time they hit the back of the net, and as I said, it was a much-deserved lead at half-time. That touch from Livramento was world-class. I mean, he saw the run, just fed it into an area, and it was a simple tap-in at the end for George McEachran.
So that means that Chelsea have the advantage at the break after a frustrating first half. It was a frustrating game for the first team yesterday as they took on Manchester United at the Bridge. Let's have a look back at the best bits of that one now. It's Rashford who hit it. Oh, some really good technique as well. Ronaldo-esque.
This was a shot by Rashford that Mendy was equal to be fair to him. Is that handball by Greenwood?
Oh, this is a concern.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, this, does it? See, really.
Hudson-Odoi's hand and then Greenwood's arm. I think that's going to be given, Clive. Oh, no penalty. And switching it.
Yeah, it's a good ball as well.
Hudson-Odoi will have a run at short. Played it out to Azpilicueta. Back for Hudson-Odoi. He's going to have a go here. Sat up nicely for the volley for Callum Hudson-Odoi, and it was only a couple of feet wide of De Gea's right-hand post.
To work some sort of magic. That's a good ball.
Look at the space Hudson-Odoi's got. He'll provide a quality delivery in for Giroud. Oh, so close. Any kind of meaningful contact there, and it surely would have been 1-0. Here's Chilwell. Giroud and Ziyech both in there. Great save, De Gea. It's come back for Reece James. What a block that is from Luke Shaw. And United grateful to their goalkeeper and their left back to keep the score at 0-0 at least for now. Here's Greenwood. Worked it nicely with James. Room for a shot for Mason Greenwood, who really got hold of that. Shaw into a good position here. Good cutback too, all the way across the face of goal. Wan-Bissaka, that's McTominay. Good save, Mendy. To react quickly there, the Chelsea stopper. This play between Mount and Ziyech. Mount through here, it's got Giroud, might not need him. Chops back inside, can he find a finish?
Yeah, he's done so well, hasn't he, Mason Mount? Really committed defenders here.
Well, for the second time this season, it finishes goalless between Chelsea and Manchester United in the Premier League. The points are shared, and that's probably fair.
A bit of both. You know, it was a really tough game, but at the same time, I think we feel like we created enough in the second half to probably get the win. And that's what's frustrating about it. We know that they probably took over a little bit in the first half. After I think we actually started good. But yeah, so a little bit frustrated we didn't get a goal in the second half because I think we deserved it.
They haven't lost anywhere away for a year. I'm sure you lot will have known that, and I'm sure you also were prepared for how they would do it today. They're pressed with their quicker players,
Yeah.
and you know that counter-attack is coming with James and Greenwood and Rashford. So was that a lot of the talk this week in preparation with Thomas?
It was definitely in there. Yeah, like I said, we know how much speed they got up front, and we had to be careful of it. But I think we had a good plan, and as soon as that plan was in place, I think we kind of concentrated on on our game. We still have a lot to learn. You know, every day is getting better and better under new coach. So yeah, I think once the plan was set, it was quite clear we have to try and play our game, and I think we lost that a little bit in the first half, but came back in the second half.
Right at the moment, after some more friendly fixtures, I think it's probably fair to say over the last month,
Yeah.
This is now mega. Atletico Madrid, Man U, Liverpool, Atletico again. You up for it?
Yeah, I mean, like today is it's the best feeling to come off the pitch and feel like you've done everything you could. And today is one of these games it's so tough. But then again, like you said, we are walking away a little bit frustrated because we wanted to win. And these 3 games, we started good, get a win over Atletico. Today would have been a huge step towards the top 4. Didn't quite get it, but yeah, we're going into the next one. We're looking forward to it. So it's just we'll keep on going.
With a lot of clean sheets of late, and Thiago Silva's missed 6 games. How do you feel, just personally, for your point of view? How do you feel about your own form, your own performances?
I think a little bit like the team, we're getting better and better. It's been a while since I've had games on the roll. It's been a little bit in and out over a long time period. So for me, it's just really, I'm enjoying it. I still know I'm not where I probably was, but I'm getting there. Every game is getting better. I feel more comfortable every game, and yeah, at the moment I'm just looking forward to the games, to training. I'm enjoying it.
Got a bit of a Cockney twang, hasn't he, Andreas, these days? Join us, by the way, on the 5th stand Thursday at 7:05 for all the build-up to the big game against Liverpool. That kicks off at 8:15. We'll have live commentary as part of that too. Tommy, it's always a massive game, obviously, Liverpool against Chelsea, but given where they both are in the table and the fact that Liverpool made up a couple of points at the weekend, it's huge.
It's even bigger than perhaps normal. Normally we're going for the titles. This time we're going for Champions League, because it looks as though Man City's going to run away with it. And you're right, they're just sat in behind us. A win for them puts us in front and puts them in front. And obviously, hopefully, we can keep that at bay and keep that point. Hopefully 4 in front of them, but it's a tough game. Listen, we know they're decimated at the back. Unfortunately, obviously Alisson's dad died, so he's gone back to Brazil. So they wouldn't be their first choice keeper, certainly wouldn't be their first choice centre backs. So if they're ever going to go there and expose their back 4, it would be on Thursday night. But you also know they carry a threat up front still. That hasn't changed. So it really is a cat and mouse game, but I still think we can go there full of confidence.
Yeah, they've lost 4 on the bounce in the league at Anfield, which is unheard of. No wins in 6. Anyway, back to this game. Billy Gilmour, who you never know, might be involved on Thursday as well, has certainly shown his quality in the first half here. We'll have a look back at some of Billy's best bits from the first half. He's just been pulling the strings, conducting that Chelsea midfield.
Yeah, he just bossed the game, didn't he? That ball was on all day, as we said, and the goal came from there. But there he is as well. Not just playing balls, he's just beavering in there and disrupting play from the Leicester midfield and creating opportunities. And again, his touch is great. His awareness is really well where people are closing him down. Plays it simple when he has to and can get back and do things like this. I think he's got a complete game, Matt. I think he's really impressed, obviously, in his first team appearances. But even tonight, we discussed his attitude before the game. His attitude's been spot on.
Got a good chance of being in the Scotland squad for the Euros, hasn't he? Surely, even if he doesn't get that many minutes, his quality's there for everybody to see.
Well, if I was Stevie Clarke, I'd be putting him in the squad and just let him see what it's all about. European football at its best. You'll see the biggest talent in Europe playing in front of you, and maybe depending on how the game goes, give him a little cameo if they're getting beat or can't qualify in one of the games. Give him a cameo appearance and let him get a feel for it on the pitch. But it'd be good education for him to be in and around the squad, see how it all works out over a tournament, and that's what it's going to be. And I can't believe the Scots are going to win many games, so he might get more opportunities.
And by the time he's 39, they'll have qualified again for another tournament, and he can be pulling the strings then too. No, I'm joking, of course. Just waiting for the emergence of the two teams for the second half here. If you missed the first half, Chelsea leading by 1-0. We just saw it from George McEachran. There's George Nunn. He might be expecting to come on at some point. Tiano Ballo and Dion Rankin and Pierre Ekwa are the other outfield substitutes for Chelsea. We'll see a couple of them at some point in the game, you would think. What's the message then from Andy Myers been? I guess that goal does change things.
Well, the first bit is relief, because I think as a manager and a coach, you'd be so frustrated, as I made the point about the other 2 games that he's lost recently. They've gone in at half-time being the better side and come out with nothing at the end of the game. So that goal in the 49th minute would have done him the world of good, because I think he can just relax now. But as I said, he would have gone in there anyway at 0-0 and gone, listen, guys, you're playing fantastic. We just need to have a little bit more commitment, a little bit more luck perhaps, and desire in the final third. Certainly from Fia Beam, I think he needs to show a little bit more desire in the 6-yard box, and the goals will come. But as I said, that team talk was made slightly different by the McEachran goal.
Let's have a look at that one more time while we await the re-emergence of the two teams.
Well, you just highlighted Billy Gilmour, and that is the highlight of Billy Gilmour. Fantastic ball out to Livramento. That touch again, sublime. Great ball fizzed in from Angerin, and George McEachran, as I said, not his forte, not what he's known for, George, but he gets on the end of it and end up being a simple tap-in. But it was a fantastically worked goal.
Just about did enough. It was a good effort from Adunze to try and keep it out. See if there's any immediate changes for Chelsea, but that would be something of a surprise. Be interesting to see if Billy Gilmour does play the 90 minutes. I guess that would give us some indication as to whether he might be involved on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, I mean, obviously Jorginho was on the bench the weekend, so he'll be fresh legs if the boss wants to change it a little bit. So I'm not sure he will be involved with the squad, and you know, even the likes of Tammy Abraham, who's been involved recently, wasn't even on the bench on yesterday. So you know, I'm not sure Billy will. But listen, he's doing his cause no harm with his appearances tonight and the way he's conducting himself and his ability on the ball.
Yeah, FA Cup quarter-final to come later this month against Sheffield United. I'm sure he's got one eye on that, having played the 90 against Barnsley in round 5. And Tino Andrew came off the bench in that one too, didn't he?
Yeah, listen, I think, you know, at that stage you've got to pay the respect to Sheffield United. I think they're not as bad as their position in the league would say they are. So you've got to get the job done right. But on the end of that, you know, you can end up in a semi-final, and what a great experience that would be for our young boys.
Andrew a little tardy in coming back out.
I'm sure he can't believe he's not on the score sheet. You know, 45 minutes and 6 minutes of added time, and he's done everything bar score.
Good to see him getting a run of games, though, isn't it? Injuries sort of halted him the last year or so, but he seems to be back fully fit now.
Yeah, absolutely that. And you saw the way he moves and his feet in the final third for a big lad, and it looks quite heavy. But, geez, he moves his feet real quickly and creates that half a yard for himself. Just a bit unlucky with the finishes tonight, but as I said, hopefully in the second half he can put that right.
Leicester were forced into 2 substitutions because of injury in the first half. It's Chelsea getting the game back underway, and Ziyech with an immediate test of his footwork, and one which he passed.
Well, I think we talked about the team talk of Andy Myers. We can see straight away what the team talk of the Leicester coach was. Get in their faces, stop them playing, and let's squeeze high up the pitch, and no more than the first 20 seconds of this half.
Nudging the back of Fiabema there. Here's Ewing. Referee's given Leicester the free kick.
Yeah, I think Billy Gilmour just made contact. That did look like a free kick to me. And as I said, they've started. You can hear the coaches already hooting and hollering at his team to get in the faces of the Chelsea players.
Calder Silva over the free kick here for Leicester. Floated deep toward the far post, and totally unmarked was Mitchell Clark.
Yeah, it was a poor header from Mitchell Clark. I think he's got to just loop that towards the far post there, and went straight into Ziga's hands there. An opportunity missed.
Chelsea's first chance to cross halfway in the second half. Here's Angerin. Trying to get away from Casey McAteer, went back to Vale. Livramento. Dunze, plenty of time to consider his next move.
Casey McAteer, who was playing in midfield, is he playing? It looks like he's playing centre half now alongside Danny Simpson. Obviously, the centre half had to go off, but he wasn't there at the end of the first half, so they've changed it around a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of rejigs forced upon Leicester because of those 2 injuries. Like a foul throw, Vale's got it back anyway.
Done really well there, Harvey Val. I think I've been quite impressed. He's been sort of on the fringes of the game, but a couple of things he's done real well. Again, he's worked hard there to get a free kick.
Here's Simiyu finding Colwell. Angerin. I was about to say strong, and then he was trying to be strong, and he was just pushed over by McAteer.
Yeah, and you heard the coach, you know, tight, and obviously he got too tight there and give the free kick away, because it takes a strong challenge to get Timo Werner on the floor, that's for sure, and he just get too overzealous there.
Shade's not going to be able to catch up to that pass from Arlott John.
Yeah, it's a poor ball there. He had a load of space to play that ball, just overhit it, and again, the chance has gone. But they've certainly started brighter, Leicester. Got in Chelsea's faces, getting the second balls a little bit, and as I said, trying to work their way back into this game.
Carlo Ziga, the Croatian between the posts for Chelsea, going long this time. Bemba missed it, but it broke kindly for Angerin.
Yeah, I thought that hit Tino's arm there, and the referee had a good view, but it looks as though he's give it for handball.
Well, they're always going to come out with a bit of purpose, won't they? You just wonder if they might puff themselves out in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they spent a lot of energy chasing Chelsea around in that first half. In the second half, they've been, you know, more dogged and getting in Chelsea's face. But you'd have to say eventually Chelsea will get the ball down and start knocking it into the channels and get Tino Andrin on it and George McEachran and Billy Gilmore. They've got so much ammunition in there, they can't keep this up for this half, I don't think.
Simi going the no-nonsense route with his clearance. Bemba looking to put the pressure on the defender. Chase on here for Will Russ. He's managed to get to the ball first. He's not got much in the way of help at the moment.
Oh, that's a silly foul.
That was exactly what Russ was hoping would happen.
Yeah, well, we saw Danny Simpson in that corner earlier get a free kick off Beamer, just using his experience there. And I think Harvey Val just again doesn't really need to make their 2v1, doesn't need to make a challenge here, just gets the leg tangled up, and it's a silly free kick.
Will, just stay in front of the front zone, man. Right in front of him, that one there. Yeah. Casey, I want you in round the back.
Hume, one of the first half substitutes, has trotted over to the near side to take this free kick. See Ewing lurking on the edge of the box. Chipped over by Hume. It's loose, and Colwell has got it to something like safety, and Gilmore's
got lucky
completed
with
the
that.
job.
We didn't really attack the ball like I'd like to see them. Ziga just mops it up at the back there, but should have attacked the ball a little bit better, our centre-backs there, and allowed it to get hit back into a danger area.
Sterling. Chelsea wanting to turn their away form around. That's been the main problem this season. Haven't won since the first game of the campaign on the road. It was at Southampton back in September. Since then, lost to Brighton, Liverpool, Everton, Derby. Draws with Man City and Arsenal. Leading by George McEachran's goal late in the first half here. Slice from Ziga. That time the ball in was no threat.
No, and we got 3 big centre halves there, as you know, this is a safeguard, so it's a poor ball in. But Andy Miles a little bit frustrated. I think 7 minutes in, we're not getting our foot on the ball, not playing to our style of football. Give credit to Leicester, though. They're getting in their faces and picking up the second balls, and you can see an element of in his mannerisms there of frustration.
Well done, Simo.
it's always going to be difficult, if not impossible, to match last season's performance of unbeaten up until the time the league was paused.
Well, as I made the point, I think in the back of his mind, he'll be thinking, you know, the last 2 games we've played as well in the first half and not got anything out of it, and this is sort of having a little bit of a similar sort of sign as well. Leicester getting more in the game, and you feel down the line they will create a chance or two.
Good header from Simiyu that time. Gilmour stabbed it forward, but turned over possession. Now the break on. Here's McEachran, Fiabema and Andrin in support. Andrin will get onto this. Gilmour couldn't quite thread it through for the on-rushing Livramento. Sterling can cross though. Vale couldn't get there in front of the defender, but Leicester haven't got it clear here. Good footwork from Andrin.
Ooh. Fiabema was fouled there, surely up on the edge of the box. It looks like the defender didn't make contact with the ball, made contact with Fiabema's legs there, but again, referee, great view, didn't give it. The referee's not falling for that one. I mean, definite block off there from Tino Livramento as he's gone for the little 1-2 there. I mean, the captain Tyree Shade just blocked him off there.
Here's McAteer bringing it out of defence for Leicester. It was an important touch from Simiyu.
Oh, wasn't it just? What a good ball that looked like being. He's just going to bend around the defender. Simiyu stuck out one of his long limbs and got it back to the keeper. But just allowing them into the game again, aren't we, Matt? You know, it's sort of it should have been all over this game, but they're just creeping back into it, Leicester.
Here's Colwill. It's time for Fiabema to get the free kick. Livramento. Come back his way. And then for Andrin. Trying to flick it with the outside of his boot.
Again, Livramento made something out of nothing. The ball got deflected. He's the first one to react nice and bright and get that second ball, and fell to Andrin, who tried to bend it with the outside of his foot.
Russ is going to not be able to keep up with that one.
No, but I tell you, Andy Mars will be very, very frustrated with that. The ball was there, and there was 4 Chelsea players looking around, and the striker just got the Ali Regba, just got the ball, played it in the corner. Got to make a challenge.
Well, I don't think this is a big surprise.
No, it isn't, no.
Fiabema's had plenty of opportunities and not been able to take one, so George Nunn will come on and take his place.
Yeah, I feel for Brian Fiabema at the moment. He's just lacking confidence in that final third, and he's not really holding the ball up as well as we'd like him to either. So George Nunn comes in. Looks like he's going to set up on this left-hand side for Chelsea. But as I said, I feel for Fiabema because I've been there myself and had games where you got no chance. You can't see the next goal coming at all.
Oh, John's cross.
Oh no.
Oh, Simiyu missed it. Opportunity for the equaliser here, and it's stroked in for 1-1 by Tyree Shade. A goal with an assist from the Chelsea defence, that one. The celebration was impressive. The defending from Chelsea, not so much.
That has been our Achilles heel in the games I've done recently. I go back to the second goal against Liverpool, where we were by far the better side. Daniel Simiyu has an air shot there, and it hits his other foot as he's trying to clear it, and it falls to Shade, who just finishes it. I mean, yes, it's a simple clearance, but it gets deflected into his path. And that's the good fortune teams are having against us. We're not seeing teams off and scoring the goals we should, and we're allowing them back in. And it's a simple finish from the young man. But Andy will be so frustrated because, his team's been far better than the opposition. But we find ourselves 1-1.
Second goal of the season in PL2 for Tyree Shade. And Leicester find themselves level. Ziege going the straightforward route that time. Chelsea need to clear their heads here. Leicester smelling blood.
Yeah, their attitude in the second half's been much better, been much more direct. They've closed people down in the final third, and as I said, they got very lucky with the goal though. And as I said, there's a massive element of frustration at the moment with the PL2 team who have been different class to a lot of the opposition and can't get a win. Going back to the positional sense, George Nunn is actually playing as an out-and-out striker. Matt, I thought he was going to start on the left-hand side, but he hasn't. He is playing as he's basically position for position.
Gilmour couldn't move it on to bait. Those passes that were happening so easily in the first half just aren't at the moment for Chelsea. Here's Andrin. Maybe he can get the Blues back rolling again. Livramento takes over. None out wide for the moment. Gilmour.
Stay there, stay in that shape. Good. Stay there, let him have it there, let him have it there. Stay with the 6 and 8, you mate!
That's better from Chelsea. Andrin flicking it through. Might come from McEachran or maybe for Nunn. Can he get the shot off? Andrin on then for Vale across the face of goal. Colwell trying to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, good bit of play on the edge of the box. Got lucky with a little bit of a ricochet there. Then went to Tino Andrews' path. Went out to George Nunn. Tried to get a strike in again. They got their bodies in front of him. But eventually Harvey Vale's cross was cleared.
Andrin. That's a lovely ball. Vale across the face of goal.
He's offside.
They didn't know that as he kicked it away, but flag had gone up over on the far side.
Well, better play. The goal seems to have livened Chelsea up again. It's Lewis Bate plays a great little ball in, and Harvey's got to look across there. Harvey Vale, he's got to look across the line there and see he's offside. And it must have been a tight decision because there's plenty of defenders back there. But as I said, just on just the wrong side of the defender.
Vale managed to get his head to the ball first there. Always tight between these two. Chelsea unbeaten in the last 3 meetings. Mentioned they won earlier in the season 2-1. Prior 2 games to that were both 2-2 draws. Andrin out-muscled for once.
Well, that wasn't happening in the first half, and that's credit to Leicester. They give Tino Andrin far too much respect in the first half, and they're actually out-muscling him in the second half. A couple of challenges, he's actually fallen over, and the referee's not give a free kick. So got to get stronger in them situations, Tino.
Keep it in, get us a corner. It's a good one to win back, win it back, win it back. Should happen. Too easy coming out, win it.
There's McAteer.
Run to the corner! Secure it! Secure it! Go on,
Chelsea trying to play their way out of danger here. Simiyu found Livramento.
Again, it's a great touch from Tino. plays it into Billy Gilmour. But again, look at them, they're tigerish. They're getting in Chelsea's faces, and you know that's all I've said in this second half so far. It's a far different attitude to they had in the first half.
Here's Vale. Gilmour. Got the free kick.
Yeah, I think that's Oliver Ewing there. He's just, as Billy Gilmour's played the ball away, they just caught him with the follow-through, and looks like a sore one. You see, he just cuts in here as he's coming across, I think. Oh, no, it's not Ewing. I think it's the... it probably Casey McAteer made the final challenge, I think.
Luckily, Gilmour's okay. And this is very much a shooting position. Both Gilmour and Lewis Bate well capable from this kind of range.
I think you said earlier in our last away game, George McKirkin got a good 30-yarder. This is slightly closer, but you'd think with the technique Billy Gilmour's got, he should be testing the keeper from here.
Bate was the decoy. Gilmour round the wall, and goalkeeper not particularly convincing, but dealt with it.
No, I mean, Billy Gilmour could do no more. He got a bit of waz on it, and the goalkeeper, to be fair, a bit of a Hollywood save, but got it out of that danger area.
Not sure that wall was 10 yards. Didn't really do a great job,
no,
though.
Didn't leave it there.
Will Russ did well to get to that. First time at least.
One of you two to get it. One of you three to come and get it. Stay there, Will. Alex, can you get it? Can you get it, Alex? Get round it. Get round it. Secure it. Secure it. Go. That ball.
You can see Leicester thinking about their third and final change. Jake Wakeling just going for a little warm-up there.
Well, I think with their efforts in the first half and certainly in this 20 minutes of the second half, there'll be some tired legs out there, so you might want to freshen it up a little bit, because I think, you know, Chelsea can't get any worse for the remaining sort of 24 minutes of this half.
Simiyu. Kanté having to go back under pressure from Livramento. A totally different side in the second half, Leicester. So passive in the first.
Even that little sequence of play there, there's a lot more confidence flowing through their side there. They played their way out of a tight situation. In the first half, they were hitting 60-yard balls and giving the striker no chance. They're playing their way out of problems at the moment and getting it. Look, the ball's now in our final third and they get a throw on. You know, I don't think technically they're anywhere near the Chelsea. Oh, there's a chance here for George Nunn.
Yeah, closed it down on Simpson. Zunde did well there.
He's done well, Nunn there, just closed down Danny Simpson, and unfortunately the ball just rolled away from him too far and give the goalkeeper an opportunity. But as I was going to say, I don't think, you know, technically they're anywhere near the Chelsea players, but this second half they've just shown honesty and endeavour, and at the moment, as I said, they're keeping themselves away in the game.
Here's Sterling.
No.
Frustration creeping in.
Yeah, you can see Billy's attitude. Said he's a winner. He wants to win, even in PL2. You know, he's had first-team experience, but losing at all angles, all levels. Sorry, that hurts. And Andy's decided, by the way, to change Tino Livramento to the left-hand side now. You can see, and Harvey Val's gone out to the right, so he'll try and come in on his left foot and bend balls in, and Tino the same. But
Lovely ball again from Bate. Here's Livramento.
To guess who? Yeah. He might be on the left now, but Bate still finds him.
Simiyu. 3/4 of the way through the game. Still no closer to finding out who's going to win it. Livramento. Up against Russ, who's back helping out. Oh, Livramento. That could have gone anywhere.
He can do no more, Tino. He's hit the ball into a fantastic area, just drops there. You just want a Chelsea forward to get on the end of it and show them some desire, and they just watched it float into the far post.
Yeah, well, that's a poor pass. Couldn't pick out McEachran. Luckily, it ran through to Livramento. Chelsea trying to turn the screw here. And you're in. Chelsea going to make another change imminently and throw on another attacker in Tieno Ballo. Have a corner first. They're going to make the change.
It's like George McEachran's making his way over for Tieno to come on. Similar sort of player, similar sort of position, and Tieno's been impressive in the last few games, but George got his goal, but unfortunately it's not going to get us for the 3 points at the moment.
So it's Ballo, the Austria under-19 international. As Tommy said, got Chelsea in front against Liverpool in the most recent game, who comes on for the final 20 here. Gilmore's corner. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, kicked off the line.
That is
incredible to deny Levi Colwill. Looked a certain goal.
Well, again, it's a ball into an area, and the goalkeeper makes his mind up to come for it, and then all of a sudden stops at the end there. It's a great header from Levi Colwill. He's going into that far post, and the clearance is superb because it really favoured the defender. He gets a good contact on it, and it's the substitute, I think. It's Callum Holm who comes across and clears it.
That posse of players all in the 6-yard box. Gilmore's delivery again. Good punch from the goalkeeper to keep it away from Simiyu.
Oh, it's a silly foul, Dino. I mean, first he tried to push him in the first place, then he makes contact with his feet. Silly free kick to give away.
Well, play down the middle. Play down the middle. Jake, from right side for 5 minutes. Right side midfield, coming in. Just on the right, just for 5 minutes. Give it. Ollie! You okay? Ollie!
Looks like a bit of a problem for Danny Simpson there.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his fire a little bit, but maybe just a bit of time wasting. Experience shining through.
Well, given Leicester's current injury list, he might get a game before too long.
Yeah, I feel a little bit for Brendan. Injuries are mounting up.
Here's Arlott John.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's
wow.
a high boot. Surely the first yellow card of the night. Right into the face of Dujon Sterling from Regba.
Ali Regba, if he does this abroad, he gets sent off. I mean, that's so reckless. I mean, he's got to expect defenders around him, and someone's going to put his head on it, and that's Dujon Sterling. That could have been horrendous.
He's clearly hurt.
Oh, I should think so. He took the full force of that overhead kick there.
There's no way he's going for that there. You can see straight away that he's going to read the ball. He's in front of him. There's no way.
you can actually clearly hear what Andy Myers thinks of
I
it.
was just getting ready to apologise for swearing. He's done well to keep it in check there, Andy. He knows he's live on the fifth stand tonight.
I think it was borderline, but...
Yeah, I'm sure. If I'm there and he comes from that side, you can see it. Sit down, you fuck. What?
Do you know what? It's because he shouted here that he's been punched, and then it's the same player he's kicked.
Well, Dujon Sterling, as mentioned, has had terrible luck with injury and illness over the last year or so. The last thing he wants is another spell on the sidelines.
Yeah, no, that was both benches having a go there. I think the coach of Leicester was defending the overhead kick, which I don't think you can, because it was very, very reckless, as Andy Myers was making the point.
Sterling coming round, which is good news.
Yeah, but with these new concussion protocols now, I just think it's obviously safety first, and rightly so. Ali Regba is still...
I think he might have been sent off here, Tommy. I think the referee's given himself plenty of thinking time and he sent him off.
Well, I did make the point earlier, Matt, that, you know, abroad especially, them sort of challenges, I mean, it was so reckless that, and obviously endangering lives. If he gets that on the wrong part of his head, you can really cause some damage. And I think you're right. I think the referees had plenty of time to think about it. You saw Andy Myers was saying it should have been a red card, and obviously that the Leicester bench were defending it. But for me, that's very reckless and deservedly sent off.
Regba takes the long walk. Andy Myers rightly fuming at that. I think not just because of the challenge, but to try and defend it is just nonsense, isn't it?
Well, you can't. Exactly that. I mean, as passionate you are about your own side, you've got to see it for what it is. And Andy also made the point that just before that, I think Regba felt that he was manhandled, I think, by Dujon, and that there was a bit of retribution there. I mean, if he planned that, he's a clever man, because, I mean, obviously Dujon putting his head there and him doing an overhead kick. But fortunately, the good news is that Dujon doesn't seem to be too bad, and he might have to come off and put a sub on, but at least he's safe and well. He'll have a bit of an headache in the morning.
Well, both sides are going to make changes in response to that. Azim Abdullahi is the man coming on for Leicester, and Pierre Ekwa, one assumes, is replacing Dujon Sterling, defender for defender. So Ekwa on, that's a straight swap. The Frenchman will go into Sterling's position in defence.
I think he plays more on the left, though, doesn't he? So it'd be interesting to see how that sort of, who goes on to the right-hand side. Looks like Darnell Simu's gone to the right-hand side now. And obviously Will Russ has come off. He's a striker, and I think they put a defender on to try and keep this this scoreline as it is.
Both sides have made all their changes now. 13 minutes then, plus stoppage time for Chelsea to find a winner. Bit of spice to it now as well.
Yeah, I think both benches have kicked off. I think obviously 10 men, now they probably feel it's an unjust sending off, but for me it was right. And now Chelsea with that extra man hopefully can pass the ball around and create opportunities. Got to move the ball quickly though. Got to get the shape of Leicester. And they're coming, they're defending. Got to disrupt it.
Here is Ekwa. Gilmore chipping one over the top for Nunn. Took it nicely on his chest. Oh, just a bit too close to the goalkeeper with his finish.
Yeah, he's done well, George Nunn. He's caught it well on his chest there. Good awareness, good first touch, and nice half volley. Tested the keeper there. Wasn't enough power to really beat him, but it's a good first touch, good awareness, and as I said, good strike.
Didn't say right to the edge of his penalty area there. Ends up in the arms of his opposite number. Here's Ekwa.
Yeah, play out when it's on. Well done, great save.
Here's Livramento.
Keep promoting. Well done, Azim. Let him have it there, Jake. Jake, just drop it. That's it, Jake. Drop it on there. Hold it. All the way in, Azim.
Bale.
Casey! Open up, Casey! Excellent, Jimmy! Azim, drop in! Azim, drop in!
Bello. He says the last touch was off a Leicester man, and the referee agrees.
I wasn't sure. I thought it came back off Ballo there as the defender got across him. I thought the third touch was on Ballo's foot, but hopefully we can take advantage.
Open up, Ollie! Casey, get back in, you're doing nothing, get in there! Pick up, edge of the box, Ollie, come in, one,
Gilmore's corner, flicked on by Angerin. He'll break for Livramento.
Great strike.
Really caught it true, didn't he? Did well not to just send it flying into the sky.
Yeah, it was a good strike though, wasn't he? Watched it onto his laces there and really give it a smash, but again, the defender does well to come out and block the shot.
Final 10 in the East Midlands. Can Chelsea go on and get a much-needed win here? Here's Ballo.
Oh.
Simiyu was in there and he couldn't cut it back his way.
Well, I'd like to put that down for experience with Danny Simpson, but I don't think it will somehow. The ball actually is great little ball played in from Billy Gilmore. Gets a little bit lucky here with a ricochet, and look at that, look, the ricochet straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
Here's Arlott John. De Silva.
All the way in on the 10. Win it up there! Win it, Jake!
Livramento.
Not too straight.
Guess the criticism in the second half would be that man there, Odunze, hasn't had enough to do of any real difficulty.
Hasn't been tested. A couple of set pieces which he's come from. He's a bit of indecision there, but apart from that, he's not been tested with shots. One Hollywood free kick which he saved. The better players in our team haven't turned up second half. Tino Andrew in particular, who was very effective in the first half, really hasn't had a kick in this second half.
There he laid it off to Gilmore. Chipped up to Nunn. Back to goal. Gilmore. Oh, didn't catch it cleanly, but it was almost a good bad one.
Yeah, it was a scuffle, wasn't it, with his left foot, and I thought the spin nearly took it away from the goalkeeper. And Tino Andrew was actually following the shot. Look, he gets his first touch is good there, but it's a bit of a scuffer. But Andrew's following in, and the keeper mishandles it, but not far enough out.
Simiyu. Clock against Chelsea now, but Leicester starting to tire.
Angles for him now, angles, pass it. Timo, have a word, we've got to keep the ball. Chuck in, tight, chuck in, all the way in, chuck in. Yes, Stay in there, Jake. Stay in your own half, Jake. Drop. Let him have it in this half. Drop, Jake. Drop it. All the way. Drop it all the way to right back.
Crossover Cook that time.
Yeah, this last sort of couple of minutes, it's a poor ball from Livramento. I mean, he's trying to pick out Jules Nunn in the box there, but he overhits the strike, and we're just trying to force it a little bit, Matt, at the moment. That final ball's just not working for us, and Leicester, rightly so, with 10 minutes trying to kill the game, and as I said, that final ball is just letting us down.
That time Vale's foot was in late. McAteer yelped loudly enough just to ensure that the referee gave him the free kick.
Yeah, he just stopped on his foot, didn't he? But definite free kick.
Drop in your own half, Jake. Drop in. Azim, drop in. Stay in your own half. Stay deep. Stay deep. Get across, Azim. Read the cues.
Equat. Simiu out to Livramento, chipped it in. Clearance wasn't great. Paint out to Vale. McAteer, that's really good defending.
Yeah, he's done really well there, McAteer. Saw what Harvey Val was trying to do there, get the byline and smash it across, and defended it really well.
Here's Gilmore. Bait. Clipped over by Aqua, headed down by Simiu. Chelsea committed numbers forward here.
Well, it shows intent that Daniel Simmers at the far post looking for a cross in with 4 minutes to go, and Chelsea don't want to sit back and settle for a point. They think they're the better side and want to get them free. Andy Myers has just shouted out, Donnell, where are you playing? I think he's just, I'm playing up front, boss. I want to get the goal. That's poor.
Keep the ball, keep it, get out of here. Keep it, angle. Ollie, we need you on it.
Well, a lot of the old problems resurfacing here. I think you mentioned it, Tommy, a couple of times. It's been that kind of season, hasn't it? First half was great, second half not so good.
Yeah, and the composure on the ball hasn't been the same in this last 10 minutes. We're trying to force balls that aren't actually on, and misplacing passes as well, and it's not helping. But and we need to get this man on the ball in them areas. He's done really well there. Let's hope Tino can get out wide and get a ball in the box. He's not helped Ballo with that, that's for sure.
Ballo did really well though, and here's Livramento.
Finish. Oh,
almost came for none. Bait might fancy a shot. Decided to move it on
he's
instead.
Offside. And now they've gone down, surprise, surprise, with a bit of cramp on the edge of the box. But this young man here, is Ewing, wasn't sighted with radar in the first half, but he's had a very effective second half. He's got right in the faces of Bates and Jules McEachran, who's now off. And he's had a much better, much more effective second half.
That's going to make all the difference now that the physio's stretching out the leg rather than one of the teammates. That's the best way to solve a case of cramp. Well, another frustrating night for him, it looks like.
That's exactly the word I was just going to use there, Matt, frustration. And as I said, it's not just born out of tonight, it's born out of what's happened in the past few weeks. And they're not doing a lot wrong the Chelsea boys, especially the back, but every mistake is being punished. And Daniel Simo tonight, you saw an air shot, he's caught him on the other leg, gone to the striker, couldn't go anywhere, by the way, ends up at the striker's feet and he finishes it off. And that just sums up the last 3 games for Andy Myers and his boys.
Gilmore.
Work him, Jake! Drop him, Jake, in your own half! Drop, Jake, in there!
6 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. We'll get a fair chunk now as well. Not over yet. Andrew asking a lot of Vale. Managed to get there.
Get to the ball, get to the ball! Get across, Jake! Get out! Nice and narrow, stay tight in there.
Here's Gilmore.
Oh, no, he's offside, Harvey Vale. And again, that's a frustration. That's twice Harvey Vale's got caught. And just now, Tino Livramento on the right-hand side got caught offside. You must be aware of where that line is and when that last defender is as the wide man.
Not in a rush. Dunze eventually got it forward. Five added minutes were signalled.
Drop, Ollie, drop! Drop back into your own half! Drop, Ollie, behind the ball! Good, stay behind the ball! Drop! No pressure on the ball! Drop! Drop! Tight! Brilliant, Simo! Stay there! Drop back in! Drop deeper! Deeper line, Mitch! Deeper! Stay on the back line! See? When it goes final thing, open up! Open up! Open up! Slide across! Slide! Steady, steady!
Equa.
Get up to the ball!
Gilmore.
Get out! Get out! Let's try and keep it! Keep 2 blocks in there. See? Keep dropping it. Dropping as a fullback, a team. Dropping as in.
Win here would really reinvigorate Chelsea's season, particularly in these circumstances. Scored in the 5th minute of stoppage time in the first half.
So keep tight. Keep showing outside. Dropping as in.
Deep from Simiyu. Vale's touch was a nice one. Chelsea
Yeah, it
will
was.
get a corner.
It was a good ball from Daniel Simo. Picked out Harvey Vale at the far post. He just tries to feed it into the box. And I think it's Danny Simpson again using all his experience to come across. Wasn't the worst ball in here, and as I said, his reaction was good. But again, it's the old stage of Danny Simpson who comes across and gets it clear.
Gilmore's corner headed away as far as Vale. Moved it on for Bate. Looking for room for the shot instead. On for Simiyu. Again, more last-ditch defending.
Yeah, this time it's Mitchell Clark getting into that near post, and Daniel Simo again just trying to get into that danger area. Clark comes across and gets it away for a corner.
Casey, don't get attracted to the ball. Come in near ball so he can attack it. Positive, CC. Call you go if he's going.
Again, it's Gilmore who sends it in. Simiyu got his head to it, couldn't steer it goalward. Bate. Equa's cross deflected on its way in. From Equa again.
Keepers. Yeah, very hard ball that to ping that there and search out a Chelsea striker, and the keeper comes out, commands this box there, and it's a simple catch for him.
Dunze launching it and giving away possession pretty cheaply. Gilmore.
Get across, Jake! The same, drop all the way in!
Bate.
Finish.
Clever play. It's going to break here for
it?
Angerin. Oh, wow. How close was that? Looked for all the world as though Tino Angerin was going to win it with one of the last kicks.
Well, they're dying for the cause at the moment. Leo, Bate does fantastic here. Cuts into the box and looks up, smashes it. Goss deflected. Again, it's good defending. Tino Angerin picks the seconds up and the defender gets in the way again. It's now or never, Matt.
Short corner to Vale. Goalkeeper came and didn't get there, and it's loose. What an opportunity to win it right at the end. It's hit George Nunn. It was going in. Are you kidding me, says Andy Myers.
Oh, no.
It was the last chance. It's a hugely frustrating night for Chelsea here. They ended up playing against 10 men. Andy Myers can smile now, but he knows his team should have taken 3 points here, Tommy.
He's smiling through gritted teeth, I have to tell you, because he'll be such a frustrated man. His side, again, have played very, very well, been the dominant team for most of the game, but find themselves with a 1-1 draw when they should have got the 3 points. And as I said, there's not a lot they're doing wrong, but every mistake they're making is being punished, Matt.
McEachran put Chelsea ahead deep in first half stoppage time, but Shade equalised just before the hour, so Chelsea have to settle for a point. Final score, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 1. Well, Tommy, and